The year is 610 CE. In a cave on Mount Hira, outside the city of Mecca, a 40-year-old merchant named Muhammad sits in meditation. Suddenly, a presence fills the cave. A voice commands him, "Read!" Muhammad protests. He cannot read or write. Again, the voice commands, "Read in the name of your Lord, who created." These words would become the first verses of the Quran, and this moment would change the course of human history. To understand Islam's emergence, we must first understand Arabia in the early 7th century. The Arabian Peninsula was a harsh land of deserts and oases, populated by Bedouin tribes who lived by herding and raiding. Cities like Mecca served as trade centers along routes connecting the Byzantine and Persian empires. Arabian society was deeply tribal. Blood feuds could last generations. Most Arabs worshipped multiple gods, represented by idols. The Kaaba in Mecca housed hundreds of these idols and was a center of pilgrimage. Mecca's powerful Quraysh tribe controlled the city and profited from the pilgrimage trade. Muhammad was born around 570 CE. His father died before he was born. His mother died when he was 6. Despite these hardships, Muhammad grew into a man known for his honesty and trustworthiness, called Al-Amin. He worked as a merchant and married Khadijah, a wealthy widow. Their marriage was one of deep love and mutual respect. Muhammad was troubled by the moral decay around him: greed, exploitation of the poor, tribal warfare. He began retreating to Cave Hira to contemplate. During Ramadan in 610, the angel Gabriel appeared with God's revelation. The experience terrified Muhammad. Khadijah reassured him and took him to her Christian cousin, who recognized Muhammad as a prophet. For the next 23 years, revelations would continue, forming the Quran. At first, Muhammad preached only to family and close friends. Khadijah became the first Muslim. His cousin Ali and friend Abu Bakr were among the earliest converts. The message was revolutionary. There is only one God, Allah, and all people are equal before him. Worship only Allah, care for the poor and orphans, free slaves, treat women with respect, abandon idol worship. For 3 years, Muslims worshipped in secret. Then, in 613, Muhammad proclaimed his message publicly. The Quraysh saw Islam as a threat to their power and profitable pilgrim trade. At first, they mocked Muhammad, but as more converted, they turned to persecution. Muslims were beaten, tortured, and economically boycotted. The persecution intensified. In 619, both Khadijah and Abu Talib died, the year of sorrow. In 620, Muhammad met men from Yathrib, a city torn by tribal warfare. They invited him to serve as arbiter. In small groups, Muslims began migrating to Yathrib. The Quraysh planned to assassinate Muhammad, but he escaped with Abu Bakr, hiding in a cave, before reaching Yathrib safely in September 622. This migration, the Hijra, marks year 1 of the Islamic calendar. Yathrib was renamed Medina, the city of the Prophet. In Medina, Muhammad established a constitution uniting the city's tribes under common law, guaranteeing religious freedom and mutual defense. He built a mosque and organized a growing community. Muslims were instructed to pray regularly, fast during Ramadan, and give charity. But Mecca had not forgotten Muhammad. In 624, at Badr, 300 Muslims defeated a Meccan army of 1,000. The victory was seen as divine favor. The Quraysh sought revenge. In 625, at Uhud, they defeated the Muslims after Muslim archers abandoned their positions. In 627, the Meccans returned with 10,000 men. Muhammad dug a defensive trench around Medina. After 2 weeks, the Meccans retreated. They could not defeat the Muslims. Islam spread throughout Arabia as tribes saw Muslim strength. In 628, Muhammad attempted pilgrimage with 1,400 unarmed followers. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah established a 10-year truce. The truce allowed Islam to spread peacefully. In 629, Muslims made their pilgrimage as agreed. The treaty was broken when a Meccan ally attacked a Muslim ally. Muhammad assembled 10,000 men and marched on Mecca in January 630. He entered peacefully, granting general amnesty. He forgave even his worst persecutors. Muhammad destroyed the idols in the Kaaba, but preserved the shrine itself, declaring it built by Abraham. Most Meccans converted to Islam. With Mecca secured, tribes throughout Arabia pledged allegiance. By 632, most of Arabia was united under Islam, unprecedented in this divided land. Muhammad led one final pilgrimage in 632 with tens of thousands of followers. On Mount Arafat, he delivered his farewell sermon, summarizing Islam's teachings. All believers are equal. Life and property are sacred. Women have rights. Muslims are brothers. Shortly after returning to Medina, Muhammad fell ill. On June 8, 632, he died. He was 63 years old. Abu Bakr addressed the shocked community. If you worship Muhammad, know that Muhammad is dead. But if you worship Allah, know that Allah is alive and never dies. Abu Bakr was selected as the first caliph to lead the Muslims. Many tribes renounced their allegiance after Muhammad's death. Abu Bakr fought the Ridda Wars to reunite Arabia. Muslim armies then moved north into Byzantine Syria and Persian Iraq. The exhausted empires were unprepared for the fierce Arab armies. Within a decade of Muhammad's death, Muslims had conquered Syria, Palestine, Egypt, and Persia, one of history's most rapid military expansions. The Islamic Golden Age that followed saw unprecedented advances in science, mathematics, medicine, and philosophy. Muslim scholars preserved Greek and Roman knowledge and made original contributions. Cities like Baghdad and Cordoba became centers of learning. Islam provided more than religion. It offered a complete way of life. The Quran and Muhammad's example provided guidance on everything from personal conduct to governance. From its origins in a cave outside Mecca to becoming a world faith in just over 2 decades, Islam's rise was extraordinary. Muhammad transformed Arabia from warring tribes into a unified community. He gave his followers a message combining spiritual meaning with practical guidance, individual accountability with social responsibility. Today, Islam is the world's second largest religion, with nearly 2 billion followers. From Indonesia to Morocco, Muslims face Mecca 5 times daily in prayer, fast during Ramadan, and aspire to make pilgrimage. The Quran remains exactly as Muhammad recited it, unchanged, memorized by millions. The birth of Islam was more than founding a new religion. It was a social revolution that elevated the poor, freed slaves, gave women inheritance rights, and created a community based on faith rather than kinship. It was a political transformation that united Arabia and launched an empire. It was a cultural flowering that influenced literature, art, and scholarship for centuries. From that moment when Gabriel first commanded read, Islam spread across a world hungry for meaning, justice, and purpose. The story of Islam's birth is the story of how one man's message transformed the world and continues to shape it 14 centuries later.